Society wants me to believe that as someone's wife, my husband is the boss and I'm a mere employee. That marriage is not an act of love, but a tool for survival. The same society which is threatened by the success and, dare I say, the mere existence of the black man. The same society where the black woman is the most disrespected and the black man the most unprotected. Fiction or reality? Let's talk about it on this episode of S.I.S. Welcome to your favorite talk show, Sis Spill It Sister. We are here with another episode. Of course, I am your host, Danielle, and this is going to be a good night because I have back in the chair, live and direct, my co-host, my partner in crime, my Renique. Well, everybody, welcome Renique back. I'm so happy to have you back, honey. How does it feel?
Happy to be back. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
But you know, me and you would never part.
Okay. So, and also, I'm also ecstatic because we have from 10th year senior, 103 The Beat, none other than the unapologetic Drew. Everybody give it up for Drew one time.
Thank you. Is it we do our thing too? No? I don't
No.
remember.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't ready.
You should have been ready. That's our thing.
Oh. So here on S.I.S today, we have a topic that is entitled Love Letters Triggered by Trauma. And as you saw in the opening video, I kind of gave you an introduction on what exactly we will be talking about tonight. And I just want to put a disclaimer here before we begin, and that is that the majority of us in the Bahamas are black. We are of African descent. Therefore, when it comes to the injustices and racism that our brothers next door to us in the United States face, we empathize with them, but we don't exactly know what they're going through there. But within the black community, within the diaspora, we have some common issues. And one of these common issues when I look at social media is I'm seeing a great divide within the community between genders. And this is due to relationship experiences. And I really wanted to dive into this conversation because I'm an advocate for Black love and the Black family unit and protecting that unit. So the first thing I want to get into is this thing of gender roles. When I was growing up, I was taught as a woman, I'm supposed to cook, clean, make up the bed, make sure the children's straight, make sure my husband has food on the table when he comes home. Renique, if you could agree with that. Mm-hmm. All right. So I wasn't the only person taught that. We have some other women in the room. Can you all agree with that? That's what we were. No, one person said that wasn't what they were taught, but the other women are saying that's what they were taught. And for the men, Drew, you could correct me. Basically, your primary thing was work and protect the family.
I was raised like you. I was taught to cook, clean. I clean a bathroom better than most women I know.
Really?
I'm very good at bathrooms.
So you never heard that thing about...
No. That was something that friends and other family members went through. Mm-hmm. My grandmother was just special in that way. She didn't want... Her big logo or mantra for us was, I never want a woman to have to say that you need them. So she raised us, I don't want to say like women, but she raised us like adults, and it just transferred, and that's why all of her grandsons are single. Didn't go well. She should have been more traditional in that sense.
I think with with these gender roles, so especially the stigma that was put on women, something happened, and I remember somebody mentioned it to me, and it's absolutely right. Something happened in the late 70s, 80s, where women now more and more women wanted to go to school, they wanted to work, then they started to get positions. So the thing is, this woman who you were, what should I say, told is the absolute wife for you. Really and truly, if she's working this high demand job, you can't come home and meet a meal on the table.
Not every
day. You can't. You can't do that. And women, we are now rebelling against that mantra that we were taught, because we're finding out that it's exhausting. Like, it's legit exhausting. And we are also rebelling against the standards of beauty that we were taught. Remember, we were taught European beauty is the ultimate beauty. And with all of that going on, we were never really taught not only how to love someone else, but to love ourselves.
No, I don't think we were taught how to love ourselves. And that comes from, like you said, us growing up. And we were taught how to cook, how to clean. And I think that loving yourself also comes from what you see your parents emulate as well. So some things where, and your experience is your environment. So when you're inside this environment where, you know, in the Bahamas, where we could be very mean, especially to women, because we want to, if you don't have that black woman shape, are you really black? Are you, or what is it? Like, what's going on? And you get taunted for that. And it's not just from your school kids. It's from adults, grown people as well, telling you that you don't fit this mold of beauty that we deem is what we think is beautiful. And you come from not being black enough, right? And then you have where you don't fit into the global standards of beauty, which is European beauty as well. So how then am I supposed to love myself if I don't fit into what y'all told me beautiful was? And I'm growing up being like taunted on these different things. So now that's why I'm so happy with all of these artists that are out now, black artists who are body positivity. But then you see some men have an issue with that, with the body positivity movement, and it's just concerning.
I think the reason why men have a problem with the body positivity movement is because I want all women to love themselves and love your body and love who you are and love your shape. But I'm allowed to say you bad shape. I'm allowed to say you fat. I'm allowed to say you thin. I'm allowed to say I don't like your body. The same way women can post on Facebook or on social media, you got to be over 6 feet, tattoos, good job, do this, do that. I feel like men felt like they feel like they aren't allowed to say that. So it's one thing to be body positive, but it's another thing to say, well, you know what? You're allowed to have a preference. You're all allowed to have a preference. You could say, you know what, I like a 6'5" thin guy in XYZ, and that's okay for me. But we also need, I think, that space to say, I want a 5'5" girl who's in the gym XYZ. And some dudes, I know they want a morbidly obese chick. So the body positive movement, I think, is good. I think it's positive. I have a big family. I want them to be loved by a man. I want them to be appreciated. I want them to feel like they're beautiful and like they're accepted. But I also want them to keep in mind that reality is out there. Not every man, just because he on your run, don't mean that, well, just say you hate big black women. Just say you're fat phobic. No, I don't like big girls. That's all. I don't like skinny girls. That's all. So it's good. I think on one hand, body positive is amazing. We need it. But on the other hand, I think there has to be the reality of men are allowed preferences the same as women are allowed preferences.
I agree with you. Everyone is allowed their preference. I just feel in the way how you deliver what your preference is. It can come off as, I hate this type of woman on the whole.
I agree.
Or I hate you for being this way. And like I said, it's a negative, it produces like this negative emotion out of women, where now you're getting this backlash from women, where we have to now fight you. And I don't feel like women want to be, the black women don't want to always have to be the strong, powerful person. But when you have everybody just targeting you, you have no choice but to be strong. And you can't even depend on your counterpart who's supposed to be your counterpart, who's supposed to be your protector. Even if you're not attracted to a black woman, I don't feel there's a reason to put them down.
I agree. Listen, there's nuance to the Kevin Samuels of the world. I agree with a lot of his points. No, hear me out. I agree with a lot of his points. He's speaking a lot of truth, but the delivery is trash. He's being mean, he's being condescending. I personally think he like man. Because you gotta...
I think that way too.
Oh no, you have to...
Black women.
No, I don't think he's anti-black women. I think he's pro-man. I think he like man. Because ain't no dude is gonna jeopardize... I'm not saying to put six is or be disrespectful. At no point, no matter how real I am in any media I'm in, I'm never gonna be so honest as it's gonna jeopardize my ability to get women. He does it to the point where clearly he ain't even trying to get no woman. He insulted women to the point of like, you clearly don't even want to be with a woman. So that's the way it comes. I think it's disrespectful, it's wrong, and it's toxic, and it's hazardous.
Yeah.
But he's telling a lot of truths. But that delivery does not truncate. Like it's wrong and it's bad. He's a menace.
Yeah, I could agree that there are some points that Kevin says that
not all.
Make
Yeah,
sense.
not all.
It makes
not,
sense,
yeah.
right? And I think that in those points where he speaks about like women wanting this particular type of man, but they're not able to, they're not that type of woman. I feel that that's a good point.
Yeah.
He makes where if you want to mate like this, maybe you should also become a mate like what you want, and that's something that should be taught to him, but not in the way you 6'5", and over 172 pounds. You will be
you build like Barry Sanders. Right?
That take me off guard when we went to KS, but
sorry.
KS. But what came to my mind while thinking about this topic, and then I mentioned it to you, is the fact that we weren't necessarily taught how to love each other. Because let's think about it. My grandmother is 80. She was born from a woman whose parents just freshly came out of slavery. So slavery was not that long ago. And what black people, we've been trying to do through the years is imitate a love culture that we have seen with our Caucasian or other races. Yeah. And basically, they are light years ahead of us because they weren't enslaved as long as us. So with us trying to follow this model, like we're legit, it's kind of hindering ourselves because we're not really taking the time to fall in love or be intimate with the person, the soul of the person. We are focusing on a checklist. You have to have this, or she has to have this. And then when you get with somebody that is on your checklist, they don't match up with who you are or who you're trying to be. And now you've hurt yourself, and in the process you've triggered a trauma in your mind when it comes to men. And that's how we get saying like, oh, Apostle watching?
I know.
All these bitches, or guys and shit, and that's how we get to that point. And I honestly hate those connotations because I just feel like you just got involved with the wrong person, and you're holding on to that hate because you have not really come to the conclusion to love yourself wholly. And I think it's fine in terms of our community because legit we are just trying to figure ourselves out as a community.
Let me ask you a question. What did you want to be when you grew up? Like when you at your most base self, what did you say to your parents you wanted to be? Yeah, it hurts, right? What did you want to be?
A stripper.
No, I'm not mad. I just said it to your parents?
I did, but before that was like my side hustle. That was going to be my backup job to get my way through school.
Me too.
So, really?
I didn't have the legs.
I think your name should have been like thick chocolate or something like. Okay, so
I was going lavender.
Where are we going? So okay, sorry.
I have a point, but we can run with this though.
So I wanted to be a singer. Like I wanted to perform on stages.
You wanted to sing? You wanted to sing.
Girl, you couldn't tell me I couldn't sing. I had a Bobby karaoke machine and everything, and I used to record my mixtape on the Bobby karaoke machine.
And when you said it to your parents, what did they say?
My mom paid for voice lessons for me.
How'd that go?
She did?
That's when I found out I couldn't sing because I couldn't even hold a tune. Like to this day, I don't even know what they mean when they say sing and E. Like what? All of it's on the same.
I went to my mom. I told her I wanted to be a DJ. She shut that down real quick. She was like, "No, get into accounts, get into law, get into medicine, XYZ." The average woman, especially, y'all can't go to y'all lady and be like, but I love him. Like, does he have a job? Who's his people? What are you making? Does he have land? Does he have a car? Love isn't even in the equation. The whole thing is, what is he bringing to the table? So y'all don't even know how to hunt a dude, because the only hunt y'all know is, like, to your point, is that checklist. But if we were allowed to say, you know what, I like him regardless of his station in life, because he fulfills a part of me that is necessary for me. So he could be a janitor, but that's the janitor I need. I'll make the money at XYZ. But because of slavery, white people had generational wealth. So they were able to sort these things out in the 1800s and early 1900s. They fought for feminism, they fought for all the rest of that. They had these conversations long time. We are the only race right now having the conversation of how do we treat our women, who should be the breadwinner. White women don't have these conversations of, I ain't taking care of no man. If they didn't care of a man, they care of a man. They don't care. You see what I'm saying? But we're just now trying to catch up, and we're trying to build generational wealth while trying to get to know each other, while trying to learn how to love, while trying to learn how to do both at the same time, while trying to go to school. And so it's convoluted, and it's not our fault, but it's low-key our fault. But I'm proud of y'all generation. I think that y'all are figuring it out. Our generation didn't.
Well, what is our generation?
We're millennials.
Y'all 20-something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 39. I'm literally 39.
Oh, you're out the millennial age
I'm
gap.
old.
Oh, but
Yeah,
you
I'm
look
old
good
as
for
hell.
your age.
No, I don't. don't do that.
I didn't think to 30.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking 39.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 40 in December. So like my generation was still, we were raised by those women who was like, do the checklist. Y'all are the generation of like, he molests me, he's a rapist, I don't like him, this photographer full of crap. Y'all are calling people out. Behaving Twitter is lit. I'm really proud of y'all outside of TikTok.
We're also
I'm really proud of y'all. Y'all dumb as hell on TikTok though.
Wow.
we're also
Oh yeah, y'all objectively stupid on TikTok.
Okay, so disclaimer, this is 100% real. And when I choose to guess, I choose guests that are 100% real. And one thing that we agreed on is the fact that, and I also spoke to you about it previously, and that's the fact that nowadays men have to bring more to the table rather than I have a house or I have a car. We now need to have a conversation, as well as women.
No,
Women,
we now need to like them.
we now need to like them.
You understand how problematic it is though?
We now, how, to be likable?
Yeah, I do, but no. You're absolutely 100% right. Do you understand that there's a gap and a divide? All right, the men who raised us, my dad got my mom because he was able to provide stability. He had sense X, Y, Z. Now y'all asking us to be interesting? Y'all asking us to like read books and like care? Like y'all you asking me who was raised by like a monster to care about your day. I'm not used to caring about your day. Like I'm used to my dad coming home at 9 p.m. Baby, what you cook? Pork chop in the oven. Bet. I used to, how's your day? Well, Diana in the counts. we weren't raised like that. And by the way, we should have been more emotionally intelligent. We should have been listening to your problems. We should have been there for y'all at that time. But again, that was not a prerequisite for our fathers. So if I have a child, I want to cry and hug them and kisses and how was your day and X, Y, Z. But I wasn't raised like that.
Okay, so when does that stop being an excuse?
Your generation is not an excuse. For your generation, it's not an excuse. For our generation, I had to learn. You see, it's the difference between anyone here my age. Am I the only one my age? All right, yeah. All right. In our generation, being light skinned was enough. I was a chubby, short, like crazy child. I was in anime and comics. I thought I was Goku for the longest time. Like, it was really bad. I was in the bathroom like trying to grow blonde hair. She got it. I didn't. So what happened with that was I had to develop a personality. That's why I always say, let me walk that back. But I had to develop a personality because I was not popular in high school.
Yeah.
Notice the popular kids in high school aren't well adjusted past high school. They like borderline retarded because they're like, okay, y'all supposed to like me automatically. Like I got money, I'm rich, I'm light skinned. So I had to develop a personality. I had to read books and be interesting.
Yeah.
The average popular good looking kid in Nassau, as well as the average popular good looking woman in Nassau. The average light skinned gal in Nassau that has no personality. The average fine gal in Nassau ain't got no personality. She ain't gotta have one. She just gotta look good. They don't even need a purse. If you're a fine gal in Nassau who thick, you can walk into any club or
Wait.
bar on this island.
Because I was a fine gal and I saw with thickness, and I got plenty personality.
You don't need a person.
But
You choose to have a person. If you leave here right now, walk into any bar along Yellow Island and be like, "I so tasty." You'll be drunk by 10. You'll be drunk by 10. Oh my God. Gentlemen, I drunk. No, there's no good-looking woman that has to have a personality. But here's the problem y'all run into, and here's, to your point, what's women's excuse? Because you can't ask me to have a personality, and I have one. Then I go on a date, and the only personality you have is your master's degree. That ain't enough.
I agree.
Your master's degree ain't enough. Your accomplishment. I'm so tired of him being like, I have my own job, I pay my own bills, I got my own car, I have my own house. So you're an adult? You're not special? That's what adults do. Am I tripping?
did we burst something in here?
Yeah.
No, listen, I'm glad you're doing that. I want to date a woman with that. Can I have a conversation with you that goes beyond your occupation and beyond your accomplishments?
I agree with him on
Same for dudes.
I mean, I agree, it's across the board.
Yeah, it
Definitely
is.
across the
It's
board.
definitely across the board. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into, you mentioned it before, with this whole marriage and security situation and us actually coming together and understanding each other right after this commercial break.
Like KFC sauce.
It's not.
Alexa, turn on shooting room.
Okay.
Calling all photographers and videographers. This studio is where creativity meets integration. Built-in voice-activated studio lighting, motorized backdrops with multiple color options, and customized sets for all of your production needs. Be it music video shoots, a YouTube video on the green screen, or virtually hosting a live stream event. The only thing that limits you is your imagination. Need a few things? Ask us about our equipment rentals. Let us help bring your vision to fruition. Book with us via email at tmedia1202@gmail.com, phone number 242-455-8711, or our website, ttmediadah.com. Hourly rates are available.
You ever had her? You can. You definitely can.
Sure deal.
Welcome back to your favorite talk show, Sis. And before we get into the business, here, as you can see, your girl got sponsors now, y'all. Dun, 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 dun. My face was done by Snatched by Jazz. Our outfits are apparel, except Drew's. I'm sorry,
Buckle
I
box.
didn't call.
They made me a star. No. That's how old this is.
Outfits, classic, bougie boutique. And of course, we had Seahorse Sailing Adventures, Tutus and Mimosas, Events by Chanel, and none other than the Big Bad Songs, Audio and Camera, TNT Media. So let's get into it. A lot of women say now. Yeah. I have to, and coming in hot. Let me tell you something. Let me put this disclaimer. I'm not a relationship guru at all.
We know from the past episodes.
I can focus on Mystique. I don't. Good day.
So I'm.
Brought to you by Lucky Bucks. Toes by Keisha.
I am not a relationship guru at all. However, this conversation, I think, was very important for us to have an open dialogue about this and to bring awareness about it. Like, we really be saying some harsh things about each other on the media. We also put very strenuous expectations on each other as well. And that's why I just wanted to sit down and do this. And one thing that I continuously hear is the fact that you should get married not for love, but for financial security. And somebody called me a unicorn. Because first of all, we have a lot of persons. Yeah, we have. You come back hot. First of all, we have a lot of persons. When I speak to our brothers and sisters abroad, they're not interested in getting married in our age grouping. They're not interested. And then here, we have persons that are here that are interested in marriage as the aesthetics. And of course, the financial security. And I think that's just so wrong. I don't think you should get married just for money purposes. And they say, when you get married for money, you will eventually fall in love with the person. Exactly. I think that's so unrealistic. And I think what we need to do is get out of the titles, just as how we need to get out these gender roles and really look at it as a companionship and a partnership. I'm supposed to be building with you, for God's sake. And I'm supposed to be able to, I have to sleep next to you for the rest of my life.
I also gotta have sex with you for the rest of my life.
That's the most important thing.
What blows?
Yes, that's
Okay.
very important.
Okay.
I'll actually be the first to dog out the men in this. I know so many men who I've been in weddings where I'm at the reception, the wife is here, the sweetheart is in the back there, shout out Mystique, and like I'm playing, but like the sweetheart is back there, and I'm like, yo, your sweetheart in the back there. He's like, wait, like the homegirl is a good girl, I trust her, she ain't going nowhere, she's a Christian girl, she don't go out, she don't smoke, so like I good with her, but like I gotta keep homegirl in the back.
Problem. Y'all want a good Christian girl who don't go, don't swear. That's why
Right.
you need someone to knock y'all upside your head.
No, it's
Agreed.
the checklist. It's the checklist.
Because that don't make no sense.
It's the checklist tells them, from what I understand, is Christian. That's the first on the list.
Because the devil made me do it.
The first on the checklist is look good.
Which is true.
First on the checklist is look good. Second on the checklist is not stupid. Third on the checklist is loyal. Fourth on the checklist is won't cheat. Stay at home, XYZ. Meanwhile, you're doing the freakiest nasty garbage with the sweetheart, when really your wife probably into that too, but you never ventured to ask about that. So you stay giving her missionary while homegirl over here spinning for the chandeliers. You see what I'm saying? Maybe you should just marry homegirl for the chandeliers. But half the time, she don't look as good as wifey. How much ugly girls I got in my DMs on something. Your boy in my DMs? I'd be like, my boy? Who married to the model? And you look like car wash? You know what I mean? But maybe you should be with car wash. The car wash is your type. Dudes out here in car wash DMs, y'all be surprised,
No, I agree. I mean,
It'll shock you.
Your type is your type.
Your type
Your
is your
type
type.
is your type.
But dudes don't claim they type in the sun up.
Agreed. Agreed. And I feel like
See how quiet it is right now?
to bring them, especially if they, mommy's still alive, they know who mommy can accept and who mommy ain't gonna accept. So they choose their partners based off of, my family may like this one, but I can still deal with this one on the side.
Yeah.
Especially if they come from money. They don't know they're jugglers.
Yeah, they just need a
from
trophy wife.
Dolio.
So, that was a lot. Shout out to Car Wash. She's a beautiful girl. Shout out to Car Wash.
Beauty's in the eyes of the world.
Exactly. And I think.
Bet.
And here's my thing. I think marrying, again, like I said.
Your type.
Yes.
Let's go
that
back
ain't
to
your type.
That first segment.
That is not your type.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
Objectively not my type.
The thing is, so now we go back to the whole security purpose and also not understanding each other. We don't take the time out to really sit down and communicate and fully understand the person that we are speaking to or we plan to engage in any type of activity with. We are legit, I was telling you earlier, for a man, I saw a poster saying a man wants to come home and have that place of tranquility, that peace at home. And what happens is a lot of times he's not able to come home to that because we're not understanding or taking the time to really communicate to each other that, look here, outside there was hard. I need to come home and I need this to be my sanctuary.
But I also believe that a woman would give you what she gets. So we could say the man ain't coming home to his sanctuary. What state did you leave your sanctuary in?
I'll say this. I actually agree with you on that. I always tell dudes, the easiest way to get a woman pants is festival.
You mean like the dumpling?
No, festival. Mop the kitchen. Mop the kitchen. Wash the dishes. Do the laundry.
Come out of the roles that you were taught.
Come out of the roles.
And help her.
Because here's the thing.
Agreed.
There's a bar that I go to. Anytime I go to the bar, and let's say I go to the bar at 5:30, there's a gang of married men. They all say the same thing. Well, I go home to the wife 7:30, 8 o'clock. So you go home to the wife on a Tuesday with stink Guinness on your bread to poke her in the back. She just came home from work, picked up the kids, went home, did homework, clean, cook, and now you expect sex from this woman? Go home, help with the kids. One of my boys who's happily married, active sex life, he says, I just go home, wash dishes, do homework, just so she go home and smell that. He says, she's be on some. You know what I mean? So you can't expect a woman to want to lay with you or to be extra if you don't do the extra. And it's not really extra, it's even keel. If she cook Monday
Bingo.
It's just equality.
It's just the balance in the household.
That's all it is.
Like I said before, you have to find out, you know what we do a lot of times? We fall in love with what we want because we're not intact with what we need. What we need to do is find what we need and fall in love with that. A lot of us don't do that. So I know, as a woman, I'm doing all of this. Maybe I'm not the best example because I won't come home and sprawl off and get my foot rubbed.
A lot of us don't really know what love is. So we could, get married young and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we don't have the good examples, as you stated before, as to how to actually and truly love somebody. And that's the issue because you may have saw daddy just come home and, lay off and mommy make the food. But as a child, what we saw as women was mommy complaining about doing this for daddy.
True. Or in my case, we saw mommy do it all by herself.
And struggle and get sick.
Correct. And then we also saw mommy get in a relationship, get out of a relationship. Get in a relationship,
Cycling
get out
that
of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what adds to the trauma. So the thing is now with our generation, what I'm seeing with all of this going on about us calling out each other, it is trauma, but is it trauma from something we inflicted on ourselves is the next question, or is it trauma from what we've seen from our childhood, that a cycle that our parents have presented to us?
I don't think that it's trauma we inflicted on ourselves. I think it's what happened to us, because trauma isn't just this one big thing, someone died, there's trauma.
Right.
Trauma is literally these little microaggressions that could impact your life in when you grow older. It could be as simple as you're not coming from a hugging family. You don't know how to express love because your family never said, I love you. Those things are microaggressions. They're traumatic because now you're expected to show that love.
Yeah, but at some point, personal responsibility got to take a hand.
Agreed. Personal responsibility.
So as much as I agree with everything you just said. I think that if you grow up in a single parent home, man cycling in and out, no hugs, no kisses, you borderline strip on the whole nine, you know you could go to therapy. Who doesn't know therapy exists?
But therapy is taboo in our community.
But it's taboo for my generation. Y'all
Not
love
so
it.
much.
Y'all love Harrison over here with the 20-somethings. Y'all love
You're
that.
right. We be talking like, I've been to my therapist today. I saw him.
Right, like it's become more popularized.
But the
you
thing
know,
is, that's within our. I don't think everybody is hitched on to the thing of therapy, and I don't think everybody
I
is
agree.
hitched on to the whole notion of I have some things to get over with my childhood.
I still feel like men have an issue with therapy, even in our generation.
Because men are taught not to show emotions.
And it literally trickles down. And then even though we have these new role models as women who are coming on and speaking on all of these things, men don't really have those same type of role models now in our generation. So it's still the same. That's where we get the clash. Women are evolving and becoming in tune, and men are literally staying in that same pathway. Well, some men.
No, I'm not even knocking that point. I think women, y'all was always crying. Like men don't cry. If I ask all the men inside right now when last they cried, me cry, real man like me, you know what I mean? But like, my boy is my role model because he was in therapy because of a failed marriage. And then when my dad died, I wasn't dealing with it well. And I wasn't crying, I wasn't upset, I wasn't dealing with nothing. And then he was like, you may need to go to therapy. I was like, boy, come on, we don't go to therapy. He's like, I'm in therapy. I had to hear that from this dude to be like, oh, for real. I walked into therapy, and I was like, yeah, all right, cool, bet. My name was Andrew, was good. And she was like, how are you doing? I was like, first of all. And I broke down. All she asked was, how you doing? I broke down entirely.
Yeah.
Because we don't even know we got to get that out. You see what I'm saying? So it's not, you're not less of a man for going to therapy. But I think if it wasn't for him telling me that, I'd be sitting here talking very different right now.
And that's what I was getting at when I said coming home to a place of tranquility, even for a woman, you have to find your balance. I think for women, we put so much demand on a man to provide that we forget sometimes. It's the same way as we want to find out, like, we want you to sit down and talk about us with our day. They want the same thing. However, they were taught to keep that closed up.
Not necessarily.
You don't want to talk with your day? I want to find out about your day.
You want me to be blatantly honest with you?
How was your day, Drew?
Here's the thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas. You know what men want? We want y'all to come to walk. Let's say you had a good day, and you walk in and you read the room, and I clearly had a bad day. We want you to shut the hell up for 1 hour. And that sounds cold. But when you walk in, babe, how you doing? Today wasn't a day. If he playing 2K or Madden or whatever he doing, let him do that for an hour. I guarantee you, he will seek you out. And after that hour, he'll be like, hey, babe, what you said? So what happened? Boy, that dude over there, he pissed me off, X, Y, Z.
But it's still a conversation.
No, there will be a conversation, but men just need that time because we exist up here. You know what I mean? Because on our jobs, we have to be, listen, I know y'all want us to be emotional and talk our stuff out. Someone got to kill the roach. Someone got to be a man. Someone got, like, if there's a bump in the night, you can talk feminism all you want. You want me go out there. You ain't going out there. if me and you dating and you here outside in the night, you could be on some, I got it, equality. You be like, baby, something out there. You want a man to be a man. So I'm going to be a man, and I want to be emotional, but give me a minute to process what's going on.
From your day.
Right, and then I'll come to you and deal with it. Just give me that minute. But women are going, baby, what's wrong? Talk to me. Why won't you talk to me? Oh, God, where are we going? You be like, bye. Get off me.
I think that's true, but I think we also have to factor in personality types as well.
I agree.
With that, because some men, if you leave them alone for an hour, this woman mad. I ain't even feel
Yeah.
No, but you have to communicate to him that, hey, babe, You clearly in a mood. I can give you a minute if you want to talk in the room.
Y'all
Don't just
nothing.
walk in the room and say, that's your problem, and just go in the room. Nah, like,
You don't have to say
Jesus
nothing, you just-
There's a new
you just-
problem now. There's a new problem in the room waiting for me. In the AC. I'm here with the fan on playing 2K. Can't wait to get in the room with the AC.
Do you think
That's the
we talk about these things enough, though, in terms of understanding
I think
each
we're starting
other?
to have the conversations on them often, and it's needed. But I think that it needs to be like circles like this, where we have a mutual understanding. We don't have to have that back and forth. We could talk and we could agree and we could possibly disagree, but then we also find an understanding on those points. A lot of these conversations, they usually happen with either all women or all men, and we don't have where we could go back and forth and understand each other's point.
And then on top of that too, a big thing I think for men and women, by the way, I think we need to develop a safe space. I gotta be able to download into you everything that's going on, past, present, and future. And when row day come, you don't weaponize that. You can't hear my problems today, and then when row day come, that's why your daddy don't like you now. You can't, because then I ain't gonna tell you nothing else.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna confide nothing else in you because you weaponize the thing. I told you something personal and you use that against me. By the way, I am the king of doing that. We do that to women too. You know what I mean? That's why you mommy don't get along now because you're stupid. And like, you see, you mad at me now. We even you tight. You almost threw a shoe. Like you was tight just there. So I think we need to develop safe spaces where we can say these things and it's not used after the fact. Like, you know what, you said this thing to me? Cool, when row day come, I'm gonna stick to row day.
That comes with maturity as well.
You used to do that. You see that, yeah, she was like, that comes with maturity.
It comes with maturity. Well, I try not to do that. I make a conscious effort not to
Okay.
throw something back at the person. I'm like, you say something to me, now if you keep poking me now, you keep poking me, I can hurt your feelings. Because if I say, you know what, give me a second, I am very upset, let me calm down, and you keep poking.
Do you say that a lot?
I literally say that.
Okay.
I need a minute.
Okay.
So Drew, I have one more question to ask you before we wrap things up. Do you think that men are able to love this new age woman holistically? Without intimidation, without fear?
I think men can learn to love you. I don't know if we're there yet. I'll be honest. I don't want to lie to you. I don't know if we're there yet. I think we can learn, but it has to be a conversation. I think our biggest problem is communication. I think men don't want to communicate because they feel like it makes them less than. And I feel like women don't want to communicate because they feel like we don't want to communicate. It's this endless waltz of us being defeated. So I think once we're able to, like you said, like this, we'll be good.
I feel like your ego is a problem.
100%.
And I also feel like everybody just trying to be up on the next person. Like nobody wants to lose. I think that's what's also causing this issue and divide within our community. Nobody wants to lose because of things we've seen in the past and things that we're trying to get over. Like I don't want you to dump me. If
Right.
anything, I'll dump you first. Or I don't want you to leave me. Or I have to get as much as this man out of this man as possible. I have to get as much as this woman as possible. I feel like I'm falling in love with you. I gotta go over here and I gotta make sure I have a side. It's always people. It's like a big competition in relationships that is present now. Even when it comes to gift giving, social media is a blessing and a curse. I always say that. I love it for business purposes, but it continues to implant unrealistic situations in our heads. You've seen a lot of people. You know, this person get a car from their boyfriend, then you feel like your boyfriend have to get you a car, or this woman bought her boyfriend an expensive watch. You feel like you have to do the same thing. It's a lot of that going on. It's just that our minds are warped, and I think that we need to take a step back from everything and really discover, you know, sis, I'm a big component of discovering who you are holistically. Like Renique sitting here with this hair. When we was growing up, that was unacceptable.
It was. I was teased for my hair and my mole.
It's nice.
Right, exactly. But legit, even when I used to work in corporate, that is not acceptable. But that's my hair? Really?
Your hair was acceptable.
It's correct, but this is who I am. So I think everybody just needs to come together and find who they are first and do a self-discovery process and be comfortable who you are. Then you will find out exactly, okay, what do I need in a companion and a partner? And then naturally that person will gravitate towards you.
Facts.
I agree with that point.
Yeah.
I think we need to stop lying to each other too. Like all these posts about men should pay for everything 100%, and women don't. But I don't date no one on 6 feet. I've seen your baby daddy. He's 5'5".
I feel like
I know you paid for that dude's car. What we doing? Cut it out. Y'all lying.
That's real pointed.
Y'all lying. All y'all lying. Just keep it 100.
I agree with you though.
You like fine gals. You like
people
short
are
dudes.
unrealistic. Are just really unrealistic about what it is that they, I don't want to say deserve, but what they need. And like I always say, the package who you looking for may not be your soulmate, may not be the person who makes who you marry.
Yeah. And I also think that we have to take the blueprint out of our minds of our parents and grandparents.
We have to erase that because that was just toxic.
For most of them, yeah.
Oh yeah, all of our grandfathers.
Sorry,
were
all
toxic.
of our parents who are watching this, but it's true.
Yeah.
Their relationships were
My
toxic.
grandma was a hoe. It is what it is.
Okay, so on sis, we do something called on sis.
5 children with 5 last names. What we doing?
We
Well, now she's gone. Love your mama.
on
She's
on
104.
sis.
Okay.
On sis. On sis, we do something called a cheers to us moment, where we take the opportunity to recap and reflect on this conversation and raise our glasses in celebration to a revelation that we had. So I am going to start with our guest today, Drew. Drew, what are you cheersing to? Renee, you go last.
Sorry, I'm cheersing to. I didn't realize there were people that thought car wash was good looking. So
That's so mean.
That's
It's
very
so
mean.
I didn't realize. I'm not saying that she isn't. I'm saying I didn't realize that people thought that.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm cheersing.
I can talk to him, but we cut the cameras. We can work this out.
Yeah.
I'm cheersing to the fact that y'all are now accepted with your beautiful hair and your beautiful hair, which I really do actually love, and that's now accepted. It's not a negative anymore.
Okay.
That we've evolved to the point now where y'all can be yourselves without any repercussion.
I like that one. And I gotta beat him up off camera.
Oh, about a second.
I just fight mine.
I believe you. Throw a whole shoe at me right now.
No, I ain't throwing fists. But cheers to, for me, the person who I am in 2021 is a new person. I've never been this person before. And I think that it had to do with a lot of changes in media, a lot of changes in what I was taught, and a lot of mentorship. So cheers to that. Cheers to evolving.
Cheers to that.
I'm not gonna raise my glass to this.
Okay.
But when I was younger, I remember the first time I told my mother I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend. So I told my mother, yeah, I wasn't allowed. before. I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend, and I went to my mom and I said, Mommy, I want a boyfriend. And she said no, and I wrote letters. I sent emails explaining that I was mature enough to have a boyfriend in the 7th grade. And I remember she sent me over across to this lady, Miss Roll, to get a hamburger and fries. Well, she was setting me up because Miss Roll sat down and spoke to me about the boyfriend situation for 2 hours. And from that day until I was in the 9th grade, I spoke to Miss Roll every day after school. I would go there, and she would impart so much wisdom and knowledge in me that I still hold to this day. I remember one time I was to work and I couldn't bear what was going on, and I went to Miss Roll for hamburger and fries. And we always had those conversations, and the woman that you see today came from her mentorship. I was a little girl, and Miss Roll passed away this morning.
Oh, rest in peace.
Oh my goodness.
So
Rest in peace.
I would like to say thank you to Miss Roll publicly. There's a lot of people in my life that played a role in making all of this possible and the development. So Miss Roll, I love you so much. And thank you for always being selfless and departing love and wisdom into me. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Spill It Sister. See you next time.